Hi, ladies.
Hi.
Welcome to the circle.
Thank you for having us.
So excited to have you guys here. We have so many fun topics to talk about today. You all look gorgeous, amazing.
So do you.
So the whole idea of the Roundtable Talks is to bring a little female energy to the show and to bring some of my core group of friends together and to talk about some fun topics and, just do what we normally do over lunch, right? Absolutely. So Candace, let's start with you. I know you and I have known each other for about, 4 or 5 years. We're starting to rack up some miles there.
I think longer.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Well, nobody counts the COVID year, right?
Right.
And we met through our friend Linda Chu, have done some fun partying together. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm Candace Gibson, also known as Phi Phi. Phi Phi, yes. I'm supposed to be retired, but retired young. But I'm a commercial real estate broker. I do developments. I do sales. I do loans. And it's all through referrals and friends. It just kept me busy. We're building some stuff of our own. I'm an empty nester. My kids are out of the house, which is so weird. I'm a mother of 3, and that's me.
Yeah, gorgeous kids too.
Thank you.
I love seeing the pictures on Facebook. Yeah. They're all so gorgeous.
You've worked on one of my daughter for her prom. I remember. Yeah,
awesome. Okay, Kasia.
Hi.
So we were both trying to figure out how we actually met, because sometimes you just get to know people through the circle and you can't remember exactly when it was. But I think it's been about 3 or 4 years now.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yes, so I totally agree. I don't remember where we exactly met. I was driving here, I'm like, oh my God, where we met. But anyway, I'm so happy to be here. So my name is Kasia Klaus, and I am originally from Poland, and I moved to America 16 years ago. And I have a wonderful husband, Jonathan, who supports me in everything I do. Lovely 2 stepsons, Jake and Dean, and 2 fur babies. Bentley and Enzo. And professionally, I am a fashion stylist. I help people drive success through power of style.
Wonderful.
That's why you look incredible.
I know, she always looks dressed to the nines. Exactly.
Amazing.
And hello, Salme.
Hi, Delphine.
So I know how I met you through our mutual friend, Carrie Hayden, a former Delphine Circle guest.
Yeah.
And it's probably been about 3 or 4 years now that we've been hanging out.
I think so.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name is Salme, and originally I'm from Estonia. Actually, I was born in Armenia, and my mom is Armenian, and my dad is Estonian. So we moved to Estonia when I was 9, and I moved alone to United States when I was 21, and I have lived here now over 20 years, so half of my life.
Yay.
And I'm a holistic nutritionist. Holistic meaning that I help people with not only nutrition, lifestyle, and supplements, but also look at them as a whole person, at their mindset and emotional and spiritual well-being, because sometimes it's more important than what they eat.
Absolutely.
And I'm happily married to my wonderful husband, Ken. We have been married for over 3 years and together over 8 years. So
we love Ken.
Yay, we do love Ken.
We do. So gorgeous in this pink. I'm telling you, this is your color, girl, right?
She's my color for sure.
I love her in pink.
So much.
Any shades of pink.
All right, girls. So we've got some little topics here. And it was funny because when I was preparing for the show today, I started realizing, oh my gosh, I have girls that are all from different countries. Like, how cool is that? And I didn't think about that when we were coming together. I didn't think about that. Which is awesome.
What is she talking about?
What is she talking about?
The other thing in common is that you guys are all married or engaged to American men. So it's funny because I know men are from Mars, women are from Venus. But what happens when Venus is by way of Poland? Tell us how that works in your house, Kasia.
Well, that's actually a great topic to talk about. So I have to say I grew up with international friends pretty much all my life. I was a ballroom dancer, and in that environment, you really have a lot of international friends because you travel for different dance competitions. So my first crush was Russian. My first boyfriend was German. So it wasn't really that surprising that I decided to marry a non-Polish person, right? So I think if I met him 20 years ago, there would be more of a cultural barrier. But because I've been here for, quite enough time to adjust to the new culture and understand also where he's coming from, and having that experience with having friends from all over the world, you kind of, even though you sometimes feel like, okay, this is different than what I grew up with, you understand someone else's position because you know that that's their culture. And so you're trying to find like the balance and the compromise within it.
Yeah. Absolutely. So does he do some of the Polish cultures? I mean, have you incorporated that?
He knows like 3 words that he already forgot.
I'm sure it's I love you, babe.
No. Yes, he tried to learn a couple of words when I took him to Poland. And I think, let me do the translating because it didn't really go that well. But no, I don't bring that much of a Polish culture into our home, although there are a couple of them that I do, implement, like Kids Day. Of course, they love it. Right?
Who doesn't want that?
Who doesn't want that?
So
yes, we do have June 1st. So we have a Kids Day. So we try to do that for the kids, and obviously they love it. And so I try to bring, sometimes I cook Polish cuisine, and he's like, that's interesting. Whenever I hear interesting, I'm like, okay, that was the last time I made it.
That's funny. That's really funny.
Yeah, it works great. It works great.
Wow.
Well, Candace, I know you grew up in the United States, so it's not necessarily like that. But the Asian culture is actually a very close-knit culture.
Right.
And you are very much entrenched in that culture. How does Ed, sweet Ed, who I love, and I'm so excited for you guys, how does he assimilate to that?
So I didn't mention earlier, I am engaged. And yes, to an absolutely amazing man. Ed is American. He's, I guess, past cultures. I mean, with the last name McLaughlin, he's German American or just American. He is half Jewish. So we do have cultures of, going to eat like with his family, like, some really good
kosher food.
And I've always loved it. And just like you, I mean, growing up and just being around international friends. I mean, that's what I love about California. I mean, not just America, but specifically California. We've got such a huge mix of just amazing cultures. And so I've always been surrounded by different cultures. And so he and I, we just mesh really well. I mean, and then he loves Vietnamese food, so I don't cook that much Vietnamese food.
Oh my gosh.
And Vietnamese food isn't just pho. It's like we've got French mixed food. We've got all kinds of amazing food. So, I mean, he's so easy. And as far as culture, I mean, the only thing, probably like the mommy part where maybe I'm more traditional. I started more traditionally, and then I realized that wasn't working for my kids. And so everything's really worked out. I think that it's how you just compromise and kind of mix everything in and don't make it too much of a separation. Yeah. So it all seems to have worked out.
Yay. That's awesome. Okay, Salme, tell us, have you brought any Estonian traditions to your home?
I wouldn't say traditions, but I definitely cook Estonian food and sometimes Armenian food. And Ken is very open-minded. He likes everything.
That's great. Easy to please.
Yes. And he's originally from Iowa. So he's a good Midwestern boy.
I love Midwestern boys.
Yes.
We don't have that many cultural differences because we have both been living in California for such a long time that we both consider ourselves Californians. But I think the only place that the difference comes out is I grew up not watching sports, and he loves his sports. So I'm just like not into it, and he loves it. So we kind of like, when he watches on his own or goes.
Does he have a favorite sport, or does he watch all of them?
I wouldn't say all of them. Like, he definitely likes basketball the most.
Oh, that's a fun one.
Me too. I
like playing basketball, but I don't like watching it that much. So
yeah, that's an easy one to get over, I would say. Not too bad. Yes. Well, the funny thing too is not only are you guys all married and engaged to American men, but you all got married, or I just found out you weren't quite 40 yet. But, at this stage of our life, over 40, and And it's interesting because I want to get married again. I hope to get married again. You will.
I do. The right person.
But I think about like, which of those traditions do you really, what are still important to us? I mean, are we going to wear a white dress? Are we going to have bridesmaids? Are we going to, So tell me, Kasia, you wore the most stunning dress. Very sexy. I would not say traditional.
Yeah. No, and she made it herself.
So the funniest thing is that one of my stepsons, who is now 11 years old, he oftentimes says, well, you were naked at your wedding.
Hilarious.
And it's kind of true. So, the way this went about, I mean, I wanted a beautiful dress, but I decided that I'm not going to spend thousands of dollars on the dress that I will wear once for 4 hours. It's going to make beautiful pictures, but it's really going to hang in my closet. So, but I also had a pretty, sophisticated taste. And I'm like, well, my budget doesn't really cover the taste, right? Yeah. So I decided to brush out my sewing skills, and I went to downtown LA. I bought a fabric, and I decided.
You self-made it? I thought you meant like you drew it and took it to the tailor.
Amazing!
Wow! I went to. So I made my ballroom gowns before. So my mom made them for me when I was younger, and then I was making them for myself. So sewing something wasn't really that difficult, and that dress was 80% handmade because of all the beading and all of that stuff. Right. So I decided to make it, and you know what? I loved it. It was one of the kind. I know that it maybe rose a few eyebrows because it was really revealing.
It's your wedding.
But you know what? I decided that I don't want to go with what is expected of me, but rather go with who I am as a person. I think at that age, we're so much more confident about ourselves. And that's kind of what we did. And, from the dress to the vows, which I gave my husband to write for me and hand them to me at the wedding. So it was pretty funny because he obviously made a lot of, humor about it. So it was great. I mean, we really skipped all the traditions. Well, no, we had bridesmaids. Which this lovely lady was my maid of honor. So that we kept. And his sons, my stepboys, were his best men. So it was beautiful. It was beautiful.
So did you have bridesmaids?
I didn't. Yes, but I have to say that your wedding was absolutely beautiful. Your dress was gorgeous. Everything was amazing. And I decided not to have bridesmaids because I just couldn't choose. And dress-wise, I didn't realize how hard it was to buy a wedding dress. Like I thought it would be, like a couple of trials and I will find the perfect dress, and I couldn't find the perfect dress. So I had it custom made. Wow. And actually the first dress didn't come out exactly perfect. So it had to be redone entirely, and it wasn't ready until a couple of days right before the wedding. I hadn't seen it, but it came out perfect. And it wasn't white. It was blush color. And the wedding was the happiest day of my life. So everything went perfectly.
It was a beautiful day. Yeah, beautiful.
Well, what about like, the cutting of the cake or the first dance? I mean, did you guys do all of that?
Yes. Our beautiful dance instructor was giving us dance lessons. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to dance on my wedding, but my husband had a special dance, which was like the biggest surprise and actually the most fun part of the wedding. Oh, wow. And Kasia helped him.
So before I moved on with my next profession, I used to teach ballroom dancing. And they started out together. It was so beautiful. And then Salme had a little bit of a contusion. And so we decided, well, why don't we surprise her with him dancing for her? So we engaged his son and his son's girlfriend into this, dance for her. So I think we just had a lot of fun. Yeah,
and I didn't see it was a surprise.
It was a surprise.
It was so fun.
And he was so dedicated to really learn all of the steps, which were not that easy. So I really, a lot of respect for him.
A lot of people are doing kind of creative dances now for their weddings. I love it. It's so cool.
So sweet.
Yeah. We did for our wedding, we went with a little bit of a waltz into Beat It by Michael Jackson. So my husband wanted to always learn the moonwalk. I taught him, and he was like, okay, now we can get married.
I did. That was his dream come true.
Really cute.
And that's not an easy thing to do.
No,
It
well,
was
you know,
great.
you have to learn a couple of drills, and if you have a patience to practice those drills, moonwalk is easy.
She's
Yeah.
going to have to teach us.
I know. I'm like,
Not in heels.
Not in
We're
heels.
going to have to get lessons from you.
So are you going to do, how far along in the planning are you, first of all?
You know, speaking of you,
'Cause it's
mentioned
very
over
early.
40. Yeah. We've been together for like 6 years.
Mhm.
And, you know, having been married before, I think the thing that's so nice, even with Edward, you know, we were talking about how the planning is. And like my first wedding, oh my goodness, the dress.
Yeah.
We had 4 bridesmaids. We had 4 best men. I mean, it just overtook everything, like the romance, everything. And you don't remember anything the day after, right?
Yeah.
So now, I mean, he and I are talking about, we don't know. We haven't spoken about the wedding. We talked about all the multiple honeymoons that we're going to have. And, you know, and you were talking about being over 40. I guess you do feel more confident. You don't have, you're not worried about expectations. You're not worried about pleasing so many people.
Yeah.
Been there, done that.
Do it for yourself now.
You do it for yourself. And then also at this point, when you find somebody you really connect with, you feel like that's probably the most important thing. So no, we haven't decided. But yeah, I mean, it's nice to be at this stage and to know what you want.
Are you going to do a big wedding or a small wedding? Or
I don't know yet.
Really?
We might just get hitched, you know?
That's so true.
We don't know, but
right?
Edward does love to have a nice dress on.
Yeah,
Exactly. So I don't know yet. I
Well,
mean,
you got some
yeah,
big decisions ahead.
We do.
We certainly do.
Yeah, we'll wait for you.
I know. I can't imagine what that would be like yet, but I know for sure it wouldn't be like Bridesmaids or anything. You know, Esther is always trying to fix me up, and she's always like, and if you get married, I'm going to be the bridesmaid. I'm like, Esther, I don't think I'm having bridesmaids.
Something more intimate.
Yeah,
Something,
fighting for that
Yeah.
position, so.
Everybody wants to
gonna
be a
happen.
bridesmaid.
Yeah.
Everybody
Until they
wants
know
to be
how
a bridesmaid. You get those dresses. Oh
Yes.
my God.
I think I allow Jesus. I shouldn't say this. I think I let you guys pick your own style, right? I just kind of asked for the color. I said, you know what, this is
That's
the
the best
coloring,
way.
and then you go
Nothing
with,
like on Friends. Where
and then you go on with what you feel comfortable wearing. Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, girls. So, you know, I'm very interested in like the practices and methods that people use to help center themselves or inspire them. And so I always like to talk about a little bit about that and when I have my guests on. So I want to hear something about what you guys do. And Kasia, let's start with you.
So we're talking about like, how do I bring myself to center, right?
Well, everybody has a different method because I'm a big meditator. I like to talk a lot about that. But some people do gardening or, you know, Diana McBride was saying that she loves to garden and how that really grounds her. So everybody has their little methods.
I do as well. I do. And I'm just wondering if having a glass of wine counts.
I was going to say, that's my meditation.
I need to add that to my list. I didn't even think about it.
So that's kind of my go-to a couple days a week. No, but in all seriousness, I'm not a huge meditator. I don't do a lot of things. You know, right now I'm still rising my new, professional angle. So I feel like I'm working 12 hours a day and I never checked out really.
Right.
And, you know, I love working. So it's not like, you know, it's a torture to me, right? However, I do try to add a couple of baths a week where I really turn it into like a spa experience.
Yes.
So I light up, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Light up the candles, you know, dim the light, put some salts in, and I play just a spa music. You know, I love nature. I love hearing nature and, you know, the birds little singing there in the corner. So that's kind of, I feel like what really, I think centers me down.
Oh, I love that. Self-care is so important.
Yeah.
Take time for ourselves.
And occasionally I will put some stuff on my face too, but
Make it a real spa experience.
Yeah, make it a real spa, yes.
Right.
Candice, what do you do?
I think she just said everything that I do. I don't meditate. Not that I don't want to. It's like what you were saying, when you're working all the time. And the time that you have left, I feel like I've got to do something for somebody else. But I do find time to take a bath. I love just relaxing with a glass of wine, listening to jazz music. You and I have that in common. And that really centers me, relaxes me. And I pray a lot. So I do pray a lot. And that's my form of meditation, actually, is the praying.
Mm-hmm.
So
do you pray like in a consistent way, or just whenever you feel like you need that? Or is it like every night or every morning? Like how does that work?
I pray obviously at night, when I eat, when I, or just when I'm feeling a little unsure or a little, but in general, just sometimes just to be thankful and just get on my knees and pray. And then just a glass of wine.
Always works.
And some good jazz music. I think that's really how I find centers me.
I love that.
Yeah.
What about exercise? Your body is a rock star.
Oh, God, not at all. Especially
Running
after COVID. I was looking at you and said, what was she doing during COVID? We were all just kind of just eating and drinking. And she's like, what is she doing? Running at the beach? No, actually, I love our downtime. I mean, it sounds terrible during COVID. Edward and I love sports. I love sports. And so does Edward. We were talking about when I was listening to you. I love watching basketball. I love watching him watch basketball. I love being at the beach with him, throwing a football. I've got a really good arm for football.
Do you?
I do. It's embarrassing. I'm a tomboy. I'm a complete tomboy. I'm embarrassed to say. But I love sports. I love doing everything that, because I get bored just going to the gym. I'm one of those girls that I get bored. If I have to, I'll go and do what I need to do. But I used to run a lot. And then I had like some disc problems from a car accident, which have gotten better from swimming, by the way. You and I always talk about, like those things. But yeah, I feel like just that's all I do. I don't really like do the gym as much.
If you enjoy it, you do it more. You
want to do it more. Yeah.
And I love sports. I mean, I love basketball. I've got my favorite teams. And then I go out and I pretend like I'm an athlete. No, I'm not good. I'm just pretending.
Salme, I know you have a lot of stuff. You do a lot.
Well, yes, I do. Yes, I do a lot of things for stress reduction and relaxation and just self-care. And because it's also part of what I do and teach people. So I definitely love to meditate. I meditate every morning as soon as I wake up. And I love yoga. I love singing. I like grounding. Yeah, singing is very meditative. And dancing. Singing, dancing, yoga, grounding, walking barefoot on the beach, and what else? Like many things. And I have a new meditation tool that I want to talk about. It's called Braintap.
Wow.
I actually brought the headset with me.
Let's see it. I want to see it.
This is pretty cool device. It turns on. So it actually, I usually have a wire and you connect it to your phone and you have an app. It's called Braintap App. And it comes with hundreds of different guided meditation, visualization things, depending on what you want to do, starting from just stress reduction, better sleep, weight loss, helping with phobias, anxieties, and whatever you want to work on. And it's guided. So, and this tool this headset is actually very cool.
Glasses.
Yeah, you put it on. So it combines sound and light therapy into your meditation. And it's like brain optimization device. So it just helps your brain waves to get into like better rhythm and help you relax and all those things. So it's
go get one right away.
Okay, how much?
Yeah.
It depends what kind of package you want to get. So I think it's you can go braintapwebinar.com and just learn about it more. It's really cool. Yeah. I love it.
Give us the range.
That sounds amazing.
I would say you can use just the app without this. I think it's under 100. And then with everything, I think it's, I would say 600, 700, something like that.
But I love it. It really zones you out.
Yeah, it does. It really, I love it. I do this every morning.
Yeah, I think I have to get that right away.
Well, thank you for sharing. We're all going to be can you buy this on Amazon?
Oh my God, I'm an Amazon addict.
Amazon.
Yeah.
I don't think it's available on Amazon, but yeah. Not yet.
Okay, so you guys are all fashionistas. All of you, little, very, very, very stylish. And, you know, growing up in LA, I love fashion. I went to the Fashion Institute. I thought I was going to be in fashion for my career. And I used to just scour the thrift stores for vintage clothes and, you know, try to put things together. And of course, you know, I grew up with like Madonna and like things where you were supposed to be eclectic, you know.
Right.
Orange County is a little bit more homogenized. They like to kind of follow the leader. They're not as eclectic because, you know, I was growing up in LA. But I remember so many times people would be like, you're wearing like used clothes? Like that is just really crazy. And even here, like when you started seeing the consignment stores pop up, people were using them, but they still weren't really admitting that they would use them. And it was so funny because we just had lunch the other day and somebody was saying, oh my gosh, I got these at the consignment store. And I was thinking to myself, you know, isn't it funny how consignment has come full circle?
Totally.
And the Real just opened up at the Legal Village. And, you know, we're all shopping online. And oh gosh, I love On Cue Style. Our friends Kirsten and Eddie Prosser. I love. So has consignment become the new Neiman's, or I don't know, Kasia, you're in the fashion industry. You tell us what's going on, man.
Okay, so let me set the record straight. Okay. I think, yes, I think consignment is really going to be only stronger along with rental companies. And there's a few reasons for that. There's a lot less stigma around, you know, secondhand clothing. And secondly, you know, the demographic changes as well. So the younger generation, they have zero problem with that. They don't have to impress anybody. So for them, you know, it's like, sure, I see more value in consignment channel bag than if they would go to the boutique, right? So that's one. And also another thing is sustainability. You know, we all trying to move towards, you know, being a little bit more conscious consumers. Yes. And I think consignment stores really, there's huge advocates for that, right? Yes. So with all of those things, I think even now when, you know, some people will be like, well, I'm not quite sure about it. You know, we are breaking that barrier. And also I think this way, you drive someone else's car, right? It's used sometimes, right? As girlfriends, when we were growing up, we would borrow clothes from each other, right?
Exactly. I still do if anybody would let me.
Right. Slowly we're getting there. And, you know, also there's a lot of limited collections. So even if you wanted to get something at the store, you might find out that there's no longer available. So you will go on a consignment and see, can I buy this somewhere, you know, because maybe somebody didn't like it, right? Or maybe didn't fit.
Well, and the funny thing is when I went into the Real, I'm looking and I'm like, oh my God, these prices are super high. And I said, so how do your prices compare to retail? And he goes, the same or higher. And I was like, and he says, well, because what they put in the stores is all of their limited editions. So they use the stores for their limited edition stuff.
The limited editions can actually sell higher than retail. But in general, because I actually do give a lot to the Real. I mean, I love it. The girl comes into the house. She takes, I only, you know, pull it out for her and she takes what they can sell. Whatever I cannot sell there, I will donate. I'm a volunteer at Working Wardrobe, so I will send all of the stuff there.
I love that.
And you know what? It's easy. It really helps declutter. And then, you know, it also gives more life to the piece, right? So I think it's, you know, I think it's the future.
Yeah,
I love it.
I love it. I just recently joined the Real and I have been very happy. I decluttered my closet and listed a bunch of items on the Real and also found already a couple of really amazing items and I'm happy. I think the prices are great and no,
absolutely one of a kind. You know, I think, you know, sometimes, like, I'll be honest, sometimes I will miss the returning date, so I can no longer return something, right? So then, well, you know, and I don't want to keep it, so I would just send it to Real with tags, and you know, it's great. Somebody else's that, you know, it will fit better. We'll get it. So
I just learned about it from my girlfriend, who's a very famous entertainer. I used to be a singer, and singers, we traveled a lot, and we could only wear your dress once, right? So there were so many items that, you know, like for me, my closet, things just sit there. I've only worn once. Since the Real has come out of consignment stores, I feel like I'm taking better care of my purses I used to throw in there. And now you realize, oh my God, it's worth so much more than you think.
Yeah.
And someone else might really cherish it. I have to find time to purge.
It's actually super easy. Again, like Kasia said, they come to your house and they help you.
Yeah, you can make house support.
It's super easy.
You know, with that also, I feel like we have to finally break the stigma of wear once.
Oh, totally.
I feel like, you know, we got into the point where like, but, you know, and I love my clothes too much.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to rock this dress again.
Yes, absolutely.
That is the thing. I mean, for me, it came from being, a singer before. So you just don't want to see you in person.
Yes,
and then since social media happened, you kind of get stuck in that same thing. Oh, I've worn that dress. And the pictures were taken. But you're right. There's so many wonderful things that you've never worn, or at least donate or sell it to someone else who can use it.
I wear my things multiple times, and I will be super transparent about it, and I'll take pride in it because, you know, to me, it's like, these are my girlfriends.
We're such a consumer-driven society. This idea that everything's so disposable, like that's silly, right?
And I think in Europe also people have different mentality where, we wear our clothes
over and over.
Again. And it's good. It's okay. It's actually great to do.
And it's all buy better quality, so it lasts us longer. So it's not like we buy something that is so disposable.
Right.
Well, also, like, it kind of helps with the guilt factor because, let's face it, things can be very expensive.
Yes.
And sometimes you feel guilty, like, oh, do I really need to spend that? But if you have it in the back of your mind, well, I could possibly consign this.
And then you forget
Yes,
it kind of helps you feel a little bit better about
Exactly.
it. It's a good story for the hubby, too.
Yes, for sure. Like, hey, honey, we're going to get some money back.
That's why we take over all the closets, which is unfair. And then the things we have, they're just sitting there. Sometimes I forget oh my God, this dress is here. I could be wearing this. But I think the purging, the consignment.
I have a solution for that though. Digital closet. That's what I do for all my clients. Awesome. It saves time. But I don't want to jump in.
No, what is that?
So with my clients, because when you don't see it, you don't wear it, right? So what I do with my clients is I will go to their closet. We do a few outfits. We pick a few outfits, and I will take photos, pictures. If they want to put them on, I'll do it on them. If not, I'll do it flat, and I will create closets on there, whether it's iPad or phone or the computer, and it will be going out, dinner, meetings, casual, and so instead of them going to a closet, looking at their clothes and thinking, what am I going to wear? They go to their iPad like, oh, I remember, this is great. I'm going to go for that.
Great.
So I have something similar. It's not digital, but what I do is I every couple of months, I go through my closet and I find things that I haven't worn. And then I ask myself, why have I not worn this? Is it because I don't know what to wear with it? So I take the time, because when you're trying to get ready, you don't have the time to think about it.
I think that's the thing. That's the thing.
So I create a group of outfits, and then I have a section in my closet that I put pre-made outfits. So that way, when you're ready to go, you just go and you have outfits already redone. I even include like the undergarments that go with it, because once you decide, you don't have to rethink what bra went with that or whatever.
I love that.
Yeah,
I think
and
that's
it's
what I've got to
great
do.
idea. Use more of my clothes.
I would pull it out and then leave it in the front, and then have it all over the place. You're just kind of hanging in front of the other stuff. But I think having a separate section of its own, perfect.
Yeah.
With the undergarment, the bras, everything that go with it.
It makes it a little easier to.
Absolutely.
I love that.
Well, I love what you're doing too, because that is such a wonderful service for people.
I wish you could do it for
David
me.
Heil does the same thing. Did you see the David Heil interview?
No, I haven't seen
You
it yet.
absolutely
I need
have
to see it,
to listen to his interview, because he's just so brilliant. But he says the same thing for his clients. They give them a color code. And so they do like, this jacket's a blue, so all these pants are marked blue. So they, it's like granimals, right?
And with men, you can actually do it, and that's how you do it, because men has such a different, different categories, right? So you put pants, tops and jackets, right? So you can do the color coordinated. Women, we have too many elements.
Right. So we have different functions.
Yes, we have to pull an entire look together. And,
Right. Yeah, no, I need you.
This has been so good. I'm so excited. Learned so much.
Me too.
Okay, so my favorite part of the roundtable talks is when we get to talk about our favorites, because everybody knows that they have stuff, and it's been so cute. I've had so many people say, I rushed out after Diana McBride told me about her vintage ice. I rushed right out and I started using that vintage ice. I am obsessed with it now. You told me you got the Dyson hair product, right?
Oh my God, I did.
I tried it yesterday.
But it's there for you.
It's so great.
Okay, so let's talk about sneakers. Because sneakers are all the rage right now. And I've got to be honest with you guys, I've never been a sneaker wearer. And in fact, I've been given sneakers, like expensive sneakers as gifts, and I actually returned them. So I'm like, I just don't really wear sneakers. I did find one pair, and I actually brought it to show you guys because this is my favorite
I want to
sneaker.
see. Oh my
You know what? I have to wear heels.
That's probably why you don't wear sneakers because there are no heels.
I wear heels. That's the thing.
I like to feel elevated too.
Yeah,
I swear to gosh, you guys, I've like worn these to concerts or things that you can like,
That's a great idea.
Yeah, I think this is Puma, and I actually tried to find it before. It is the most comfortable shoe you've ever worn.
This is great.
And I feel like I have a little, and I've like rocked it with some dresses, like little funky.
100%.
I love that.
I'm gonna steal that idea because just as you, I'm a heels girl, not so much sneakers girl. So I only like 2 pairs of sneakers that I wear literally with like sports outfits, but no sneakers for me. Yeah, and that's fun. Yeah, but I'm gonna try that for sure. It is.
Sneakers, Actually, that reminded me that for many years I used to wear those high heel Giuseppe Zanotti sneakers.
Yes, I used to have those.
And I love them. I mean, I wore them like so many years and all the time, and I kind of forgot about them.
Yeah, so true.
But right now I'm all about comfort when it comes to sneakers. So I brought my favorite right now, which is the On Cloud.
Ooh.
Have you heard of them?
No.
I like the look of them though.
They are so comfortable.
I can tell.
You can, live in them all day.
And the cushion. It has the cushion.
I'm rushing right now. I can see this.
And they also make like sneaker style too, like regular. This is more comfort. Like you can run in them or work out.
That's amazing.
But they also have like sneaker.
And they're cute. They're cute. They're not.
They're
so
pretty.
cool.
I love the color.
They look amazing.
There are so many like designer sneakers that I try. I'm like,
they look great. Yeah, they look great, but they don't really fit. They're not
so expensive.
It's not worth it.
Tennies get so expensive.
So expensive. Oh, my daughter wears $500 sneakers. I don't know how that happened. But there are these
golden goose.
sneakers.
The golden goose.
I don't know what they are, but she buys them. Like, they're $500, honey. And then she brought her brother a pair for Christmas or for his birthday. And I'm like, when did they get to be that expensive? I've got a lot of sneakers. I love sports. I've got a lot, but I do love the one that you're showing. And that's
amazing. Yeah, for sure.
I like the openness of that.
Yeah.
And then I like the style
Comfort.
of that.
Comfort.
They look chic, so that's, you can still feel pretty.
So do you have a favorite pair or no?
I'm dumb. I have a lot of sneakers, but my favorite pair is a Steph Curry. That I was trying to get him to sign. But I have a lot.
Steph Curry? We need a signature over here. Just saying.
The last time he was here, I was at the Lakers game. They were playing, and then the Lakers security was trying to keep me from getting to him. I felt like so many things. I know.
I'm just little.
How did that happen? You're so tired.
Just go under their legs. But I've got a lot. But I love going back to the old style. I mean, I like the heels or the higher ones too. Those are like when you're walking around, you want to be comfortable because we've gone walking and when you're in your boots or any kind of other shoes, it's just
unless you're dancers, so you're used to,
But no, I want something comfortable with a little heel. I mean, those are like perfect.
Those are amazing. Yes, I definitely going to.
I know, and unfortunately, I don't know that you can get them anymore because I've actually had those a couple of years. So sorry to say, show something old, but
you can wear them.
I think we can find them.
Yeah. Oh no, I love.
Yeah.
Okay, so I am obsessed with my fragrance. And the funny thing about it is I worked for Chanel. I was a fragrance representative for Chanel and I traveled with Chanel and I, smelled and wore all the fragrances, but there's one fragrance that I keep coming back to because it's the only fragrance that every time I wear it, somebody compliments me on it.
Yeah.
You know how like a fragrance suits you because you just know it just works with your chemistry. And people are always like, what is that? And it's such an old fragrance, but my fragrance is Sun by Alfred Sun.
Gorgeous.
And you can't even buy it in the store anymore because it's so old. Yeah.
Oh, really?
And so I have to buy it online, but I can find it on Amazon or whatever.
So pretty.
But I am obsessed with this fragrance.
Really
and so now, even though I have a whole range of fragrance, I always wear the same one.
Awesome.
Amazing.
You've probably seen it on me. She's like, I'm smelling right now.
I so agree with you. Delphine, I so agree with you because, I was searching for my fragrance as well. And then there was a moment when, I got a lot of compliments. I'm like, that's it. I'm sticking to it. Right. So my guilty pleasure fragrance is this little guy, which
I don't think I've ever seen that bottle before.
Any of you speak French? Because I will never pronounce this. I won't even try it.
It's Elixir de Merveille.
So I think it goes like Elixir de Merveille, something like that. French, friends, I'm sorry, you can teach us how to say it right. Anyway, I love this one. I mean, these works.
Oh, wow.
No, I want to smell
it. Goes with my skin.
Oh, it smells amazing.
Where'd you find it?
So that's Hermes.
Oh, yeah, that smells good. I actually feel like I've smelled this. Maybe it's been on you.
Oh, yeah. I don't smell it anymore. So, we kind of, it's... you never know how it smells, right? Because you get so used to that your nose is like not recognizes anymore. But I love it.
Yeah, it's funny. I can't handle anything too strong. It's not that I'm not a fragrance girl, but the fragrance has to be really soft. If I have something on, how you go to the department store and someone tries something on you, if I can't handle it, I will get nauseous. That sounds terrible. But I have a few, and this is one of them that I don't know what did I do with it.
Oh, it's right there.
Oh, right here. I really love. It's spring flower. Oh, look, I scratched it.
I love the bottle.
It's Creed. It's spring flower, and it's really literally one of the few fragrances that I love because it's super light. It comes on and it's easy for me to remember because I'm really bad with names. I'll forget anything and everything, but just that it's pink. So I'll go and I said, I want the pink Creed. Super light. So
I want to smell it. So I know that there's a lot of talk about I love that. Yeah.
Maybe a little, I don't like things too floral. But it's
so fragrances have gotten a bad rap lately of being carcinogenic, right? And I know my friend Robert Lauder, like if I'm going to be with him, I never put fragrance on because he'll remind me how carcinogenic they are.
Wow.
So one of the things I do to try to avoid actually having it on my skin is I
spray any water
it. Exactly. And when you work in fragrance, they teach you that that's the way to apply fragrance. So as much as you can try to get it on your clothes as opposed to getting it on your body, it can help you not be so.
I think I need to start doing that because I was taught, you put it here, and here, right? So you put it on your skin.
Well, and nobody dabs fragrance anymore either,
I think I'm going to try doing that.
And I think that protects your clothing too, because when you're spraying on, even if it's a little there and it's like burning stuff out, like it can get
absolutely
damage from the alcohol in it.
I agree with your friend Robert. So because fragrances are super fun. I personally have a chemical sensitivity for fragrances, so I don't use them. And sometimes when, like one time I had to ask Kasia because we were driving in the car, like, please don't use perfume when you're with me. Like this, it's fine because there is a distance, but in like close proximity, I just react to it. And it's also because it has lots of unnatural things in them, so it's great, but it's just a personal choice.
Fragrances now that are on the market that are all natural ingredients, totally.
So essential oils, I use essential oils, so I love it.
Do you have a favorite essential oil?
I love citrus.
I should say, what does Ken like?
Ken loves everything that I do, so he's the sweetest. Yes. But I like citrus. Citrus, it smells like orange and lemon. It's so fresh. It's super fresh.
I love everything citrus. I'm a citrus person.
I never thought of it.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Great idea.
Okay, so you're all super fit, amazing bodies. Oh my gosh.
Tables covering everything.
We have a little COVID.
No, you look
letting go.
Like, this is good. I like this height.
We're hiding on the table. But it can be kind of a challenge to be thinking about eating healthy and maintaining a positive, nutritious diet. But not getting bored of the same foods over and over. And so I actually didn't bring the product that I'm obsessed with right now. But you guys have all seen it because they do a ton of advertising on Facebook. That's actually how I found it. It's called Kachava.
Yes.
I
And
have seen it.
Oh my God, you guys, it's so delicious.
I wanted to try
and it's expensive because it's like $70 or $80 a bag.
Yeah.
But they say it's for 30 servings, but I don't use as much as they normally do. So it probably goes a little bit longer.
That's not bad at all. 30
That's why you
servings.
Yeah.
Wow.
But if you don't like coconut, you're not going to like it because it actually has a pretty strong coconut taste, coconut derivative. But I will tell you, this tastes like a milkshake. It tastes so good. Not sweet like that, but like rich like that. Like it has a body to it. And it fills me up. Like I can go a long period of time without feeling like I need to eat anything. And, if you believe everything on the packaging, it's, everything that you need in a day. It's organic. It's gluten-free. It's all the things that you want. And I'm obsessed with it.
Wow.
I'm gonna try it
When
out
you
for
see
sure.
it,
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I tried it. It's great.
I love
Okay,
coconut.
what is your thing, girl?
Food-wise,
Do you have any new trends that you're into?
well, I don't usually go with trends.
Yeah.
And for me, it's like healthy nutrition and food should be actually super simple. And I think it's too complicated and confusing for many people. But for me, it's like, just eat as many whole foods as you can, like, so that, you know the ingredients.
Not processed.
Exactly. And look at the quality of it. Like quality is really important.
Quality
like
is
organic is
Yeah,
really important.
natural.
And also like all the meats, chicken should be pasture raised and
Well, you speak to the organic thing because I actually just had this conversation in the store the other day. I was like, "Oh, is it organic?" And he's like, "Why? Why do you care about that?" And for us who drink the Kool-Aid, like I can't imagine. Like, what? What do you mean? Why?
Right.
Yeah.
Why do you think organic is so important?
I think
people who are not on the bandwagon.
it's so important because of the pesticides. We live in such a toxic world. And what we put in our bodies, our bodies should be our temples. Like, we should treat it as well as we can. And if it's non-organic, it's going to have all kinds of toxins in it that you don't want, all the pesticides.
So true.
With organic, of course, you cannot control it. You don't know. It's just a label. But at least it's, it's a better option.
Yeah.
At least you are trying your best.
It's
So,
trying.
yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. If you're eating chicken that's like been fed with hormones
Yes.
and speed growth or something to speed up their growth, or whether it be cows or chickens, you're putting that into your body. You're making yourself older as well.
Yeah.
So,
Do you shop only organic?
I shop organic. I try not to make too big of an issue on food just because I try to keep it simple.
Right.
I think there's a limit as long as everything's in moderation. When we go out to eat, not everything is organic. So we can't control that.
Totally.
But I think as long as, you have a limit where you're like, okay, I've eaten too much of this, or I don't feel like this is not good for my body. I think it's just to gauge and notice what you take in.
It's actually a sad state, in my opinion, that in America we allow people to put poison on our foods. In Europe,
It's very sad.
It was just in Europe. Everything's farm to table there.
Yeah.
Like, they don't allow that. It's like, why are we as Americans allowing farmers to spray poison on our foods? And we give this food to our children.
Yeah.
They said that the Quaker, all of the Quaker oats, all the Quaker products, Cheerios, have some of the highest toxin levels. That's what we're giving to our children.
Wow.
It's crazy. to me.
That's why
I
sticking
keep
to
it.
whole foods, like, real foods.
Yeah, having two step-boys, I definitely, try to do as much as homemade food for them.
Right. I think that's important.
Right, rather than, going with some other options. But what I wanted actually to share with you guys is that I've never followed any diet, but I did something once that changed my entire life. Like literally 3 years ago, I did what's called food sensitivity test. And I don't know if you've ever done it, if you've ever heard about it. When I first, looked at it, my husband did it first. I was like, no way. You're going to give me all this list of foods that I cannot use when I'm cooking. No way, right? This is too much. And then I went and do it. And I have to tell you guys, when I follow religiously the foods that I should avoid, I feel great. I feel great. No inflammation, no tiredness, no fatigue, no breakouts. Your hair looks great.
That's really
So that to me was really a breaking moment in my diet kind of life.
Yeah, for sure. Because many
Where do you
people
go
have.
to get a food sensitivity
So I have
test?
a naturopathic doctor as well. And so she draw the blood and she sent it to laboratorium. So it's with her.
I did it for my dog. I don't know why Yes, I'm really seriously.
And you know how many
everything.
Yeah.
Why would I?
So the funny thing about it is people are so I think there's a lot of misconception about allergies because you don't have to have an immediate reaction to be allergic to food.
Right.
And sometimes, for me, it was eggs, right? So I used to eat scrambled eggs each morning for 10 years straight. And then I would be tired. I'm like, why am I tired? I just woke up, right? So it came out that I should stay away from, from dairy, from eggs, from beef, so from a lot of those things. And once I start following, so now I will have salad for breakfast, which, at
How
first...
very European of you.
Right, and I, it's a glass of wine. And I will have it with a glass of wine, right? With a glass of Cabernet. It was really difficult to really switch at first because I was, eggs or fruit scroll, right, in the morning.
Right.
And then you tell me you cannot eat that. I'm like, what are you telling me?
So eggs.
Right.
More for sure.
So it's not really, I can still have eggs. It's just, I should avoid them to keep the inflammation at bay, because that's pretty much what it causes. Yeah. And there's a lot more, unfortunately, but yeah. So I stand by it. I'm like the biggest, raving fan of doing this.
Yeah. Why continue to?
And also that, your body is actually stays. So I haven't worked out since February, where I used to really work out all the time, 5 times a week. And I had a little bit of a confusion in my knee. Confusion too. Contusion.
But it probably got confused too.
Pretty much, yes, for sure. And so I had to put that on hold. And, my scare was, will I gain weight? Because now I don't teach dancing either. So my work is 50%, behind the desk. And I have to tell you guys, having that diet, just, following up my list, where I don't count calories. I don't really look at how much I eat. It's just I follow the list. It stays.
Oh my
gosh,
where it's supposed to stay. That's great. That's good advice. Kasia. Thank you for sharing that. Do you have any food things that you're doing lately?
No, I just eat whatever I want. I'm really skinny.
I don't think she eats. I think that's the thing.
It really is in moderation, and I love there are days where I'm like I have to have salad all day long.
Yes,
or vegetables. I love vegetables.
Me too.
I'm like
I can't go day without it.
Right.
Yes,
I can go day without the meat, but not without
vegetables
fish.
and fruit.
Yes,
exactly.
absolutely.
That was the hardest part about Italy. They don't eat vegetables there.
That's right. It's
pasta and protein.
Pizza, bread.
Yes.
Right.
In Italy, you have to ask for that arugula salad with extra arugula.
And that's all I eat. Like the whole time.
It's hard.
I love cheese. I mean, that's the only thing that I'm really weak about. Like
that was
really
the
good
biggest
cheese.
thing. Yes, I had to.
That's my go-to. I have to have cheese.
I love cheese, yes. Although I cannot really, according to my list, I should avoid it. But yeah.
Oh, really?
Occasionally I cheat.
So do you just make like a cheese plate for yourself, or are you saying you put cheese in your
I do make a cheese plate for myself.
Love it. With the glass of wine, right? Go with wine.
It goes to have some wine.
It goes together well.
Cheese plates, I love all kinds of different cheese, and then really good cheese, and then have a little wine and just relax. But I mean, I don't like
and that's your dinner.
That's my. Sometimes it's my midnight snack, actually. But I mean, I think it's just really if you know that you've gone overboard or you feel not good. Then you go to your body tells you. You have to listen to your body.
That's so true.
You really do. If you ignore it, no matter how busy you are, if you ignore it, it can really wear you down. And it's happened to me. So
we're very similar. Yes, happened to me too as well.
So I
deprive your body from all the nutrients sometimes.
Yes. I have a daughter who has eczema, so I know that she can't do eggs or milk. She's allergic to a lot of things.
Dairy,
it used to be, when I cooked, I was more, conscientious about that, and it kind of carried over. I mean, Ed is super easy. Ed was so simple. So, I mean, in his, the kind of food that he eats. So anything goes, for him.
Yeah. Well, and one of the things that we learn in the world of cosmetics is if you break out around your mouth, it's from something that you're eating. And a lot of people break out around their mouth and they don't realize that it's associated with their diet.
Sure. And that to me was with, I mean, I never had problems with skin, but I would have moments when I would have those breakups and I'm like, what is going on? And then once I really follow the list, no breakups.
Usually dairy. Dairy is big, causing skin issues.
That's what I discovered. I was allergic to dairy and grass. And I have to be out,
Oh, wow.
stuff grass.
Yeah, that's a
and
common allergen for
Yeah,
sure.
I think so. And not olive oil, which I love to use with everything, but apparently olive branches. So,
wow.
But at one point I was having like this sort of runny nose, and I didn't know what it was from. So I cut out olive oil altogether, and I thought that was going to help. And it did help temporarily. I think I had like too much olive oil.
You and I will go. Let's go get our sensitivity testing done. Let's figure it out.
It's really great. It's really great for sure.
Girls, I think we solved all of the world's problems today. So thank you so much for coming. It went so fast.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Keep doing lunch.
Oh, I love that.
I know, it's happened.
Thank you for
But
having us.
We'll just do lunch then.
Yeah.
Over lunch.
Yes. And continue.
You went really
everything.
quick.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having us. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Delphine Circle. If you enjoyed the episode, please check out our last 2. And remember to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm Delphine. Welcome to my circle.